What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Our friends over at ESPN FC are back at it. These guys never cease to amaze me with their anti-Barcelona agenda. And I understand that to some people, this might be tiresome because I'm making Barca seem like this big victim. And I promise you, that is not what I'm trying to do. But these guys really have a hard time giving Barcelona credit. And if you don't believe me, just go watch their videos. I promise you, it's actually insane. And anytime they actually praise Barca, it's like they're being forced to praise Barca. If you guys remember last Sunday, the day after the Clásico, I posted a video reacting to their reaction after Barca won that game. Not just won, by the way, thoroughly spanked Real Madrid in their stadium 4-0. Okay? And in their reaction, they were still talking about the highline and offsides, and if Madrid wanted to, they could have scored 3 in that first half, and barely gave Barca any credit in that video, right? And that's when I was like, okay, this is getting kind of weird. And by the way, the El Clásico was after Barca had beaten Bayern Munich 4-1 at Montjuic. So you beat Bayern Munich 4-1, you beat Real Madrid 4-0 in the span of 3 days, and these guys were still finding ways to pick up our Barca's performances. And that's when I realized something weird is going on here. And then yesterday, 2 days ago, on Sunday, Barca beat Espanyol 3-1, and while it wasn't the prettiest performance, it's still a 3-1 scoreline, a dominant win. Again, the second half wasn't great, but it was still a dominant win. And these guys, these two guys on my screen, the Gab and Jules show, wanted to I watched this video, they talk about how, we're just gonna watch it, okay? We're gonna watch it together. But again, I thought it was just like those panel guys, like when they have the ESPN show, like post-match, I thought it was just those guys. But it turns out everybody in this fucking network refuses to give Barca any credit. And let me show you what I mean by that. Let's just react to this video right now, and let me show you what I mean. It's like a 2-minute clip, so this video is not gonna be very long. But just please understand, you're gonna understand what I mean when I show you this clip. Honestly, you're gonna understand it perfectly. By the way, who the fuck actually watches this podcast? I don't understand. Nothing against these two guys, but it just, I don't know. I'm not a fan.
Barcelona won't stop, Jules. It's a 3-1 win in the derby over Espanyol. But there's a but. There's always a but. Came off in the second half. You getting nervous about this highline?
It is very risky at times. We said that before. I mean, Espanyol had 2 goals disallowed for tiny offside. They were offside, but they were tiny. Inique Peña makes a massive save too. But I guess a 3-0, maybe they took their eye off the ball as well, because they were also very good with the ball. Great ball from Lamine on the first goal by Olmo. Even better ball maybe from Casado to Rafinha on the second goal. When they play so well. But that high line against a better team would have cost them on Sunday.
What the fuck are we waiting for anymore, bro? Why do we keep talking about this high line? This is such a stupid talking point that people keep bringing up to discredit Barcelona. It's actually making me upset. Honestly, it's making me upset. What the fuck are we doing, bro? Against a better team. They just did it against Bayern Munich and Madrid. They couldn't figure out the high line. And Mbappe was drawn offsides 8 times in the first half. Like, it happened the same thing against Bayern Munich. They could not take advantage of it. Why can't we just realize that the high line works? It works to perfection. The high line is supposed to draw teams offside by by small margins. That's what it's supposed to do, and it's working every single time. And for you to say that it's not going to work against better teams, it literally worked. Like, you could have made that argument before Bayern Munich and before Real Madrid. After those 2 games, you cannot make that argument anymore. That's what makes it so tiresome to me. What better team are we waiting for? We just played two teams that are contenders to win the UCL. What do we have to do against Man City and Liverpool for you guys to believe that we're actually a good team? Like, I don't understand why we keep talking about the fucking high line. It's so tiresome, man. It's such a silly talking point that people keep bringing up. And I really don't understand why. I don't understand why. Yeah, they're small offsides. Yes, that's how it works. Did you see Mbappe and his offsides? None of them were crazy. It wasn't like he was 2 feet offside. No, they were all marginal offsides. But again, with VAR, that's how the high line is supposed to work. Now, without VAR, it'd be a little trickier because it'd be a little harder to call because, again, it's marginal. But with VAR, I mean, it's working to perfection. And VAR is a part of football, so use it to your advantage. And Barcelona are doing that. But again, they never talk about... They never give Barca credit for knowing how to play the high line. It's always like, you know what, the other team couldn't do it. And now this fucking guy's bringing up the fact that if they do it against a better team, it's not going to work. But again, they just played 2 great teams. Like, are we being for real? This is something that I will never comprehend. I will never comprehend this. And this is why I wanted to make this video once again, because I already made one video talking about them. But when I saw this, I'm like, dude, this cannot be real. Like, it must be like I'm living in a simulation or something. I cannot believe we're still talking about the highline, honestly. And I cannot believe this guy just uttered the words if they do it against a better team. Or if they come up against a better team, sorry. What team are you waiting for, bro? What team are you waiting for? 1970 Brazil? For those fuckers to come back from the dead and play Barca and see if they could do it against them? Like, what are we waiting for, bro? The Galacticos? For them to get back together? And then, if Barca do it against the Galacticos, then we know what they can play. Like, I don't get it. I really don't understand, man. I don't want to, like, I've gone on this tangent for too long now. But again, the fact that we talk about Barca, like, you could talk about Hansi Flick in the second half. And the fact that, he didn't make proactive changes. You could talk about the fact that Barca in that second half were misplacing passes. You could talk about the fact that Frankie de Jong made a cameo and didn't look that good. You could talk about the fact that, the defense looked kind of shaky. I understand that. You could talk about the fact that the attack didn't look great in that second half. If you want to bring that up, that's fine. I'm not saying that Barca is immune to criticism by these pundits. But the criticism that they're throwing at Barca is so fucking stupid, bro, because the high line works. And for this guy to say, what if they come up against a better team? It's such a, we're past that at this point, man. We're done with that. You cannot use competition. You cannot bring Barca's competition up anymore to discredit them, because they've done it against the best teams. And they didn't just beat Bayern and Madrid. Like I said, they put 8 in both of those games. 8 goals combined. Only conceded 1. Against 2 of the best front lines in Europe. I mean, Olise, Gnabry, and Harry Kane are really, really good. Vinicius Jr., Bellingham, and Mbappe are really, really good. And I don't understand, man. I really don't understand. Like, at some point, we just have to give the team credit. Barcelona, I think they've drawn teams offside 6 times, an average of 6 times a game this season. An average of 6 times a game they draw teams offside. Or maybe even more than that. I don't understand. Let's see. Do they have anything else to say here?
I think he needs to figure it out, and I think he's going to go and change things.
Figure what out? He already figured it out. He already figured it out. I'm sure they're talking about Hansi Flick. What does he need to figure out? He's doing the right thing, bro. Like, it's so upsetting to me, because again, it seems like we're watching 2 different teams. And I brought it up in my video that I made last week, but I'm going to bring it up again. These guys, ESPN FC, if you don't live in the States, you don't know this, but if you live in the States, you know, they're the only network that's allowed to cover La Liga. No other network. ESPN FC. It used to be beIN Sport back in the day. Now it's ESPN FC. They're the only network that covers La Liga. And the 2 biggest teams in La Liga are Real Madrid and Barcelona. So you would think these guys spend most of their time watching those 2 teams, because again, they work for the network that covers the league. It's their fucking job. It's literally their only job is watch football and give cogent and sober and unbiased analysis, right? Let's keep that in mind. And yet they come out with shit like this. He needs to figure it out. What does Hansi Flick need to figure out? Please tell me what the best coach in Europe this season needs to figure out. Because it seems to me like he figured it out already. It seems to me like Inigo Martinez, Jules Koundé, Pau Cubarsí, and Alejandro Valde know exactly what to do. So this whole narrative about the high line, it's getting really, really tiresome at this point. Because it's working. So again, I just needed to get that off my chest. This is a 48-second clip, and I almost made a 10-minute video about it. Fucking amazing, man. I just, it's just, I can yap for hours, as you guys know. Again, I'm not trying to force this shit, but it's annoying to me, because I'm so sick and tired of hearing the same narrative about the high line. We're past it at this point. And for this guy to say when they come up against better teams, it's so infuriating. You guys don't understand. It's crazy. But yeah, man. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'm not going to watch the rest of this shit, because I honestly could care less. You guys let me know in the comment section down below what you think of these guys and their coverage of Barcelona and the way they talk about this high line. Do you think the high line is effective? Do you think it's not? I mean, how can you think it's not? Literally, the numbers speak for themselves. But again, that's just my opinion. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And yeah, I love every single one of you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.